Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video from Geoscience Skills channel. In this video, I will talk about one of the most important parameters used in reservoir studies, which is the cutoff value. I will introduce you to the meaning, definition, as well as the net pay products from applying the cutoff. So what's exactly the meaning of cutoff? Cutoff is a value that we use to determine the effectiveness of a certain reservoir property and its impact on volume. Or let's say we use this value to put reservoir properties within effective limits, such as when we apply lithology or shale cutoff to produce net sand log. It allows the best description and characterization of reservoir potential, and it's more required and key input when it comes to heterogeneous reservoir study. So let's talk about the types of net pays and their differences. Let's suppose that we have a clastic reservoir interval, and this is the gross thickness that geologists intend to evaluate from top to the bottom. When lithology or shale cutoff is applied, it will produce intervals of net sand or clean sand, or let's say sand intervals free of fine materials such as shale. The cutoff value is certain value that picked on appropriate log such as gamma ray log to separate clean sand from shale. This way, only sand intervals, the yellow color, will be evaluated, while shale intervals, the gray color, will be excluded. So as you can see, after applying the cutoff, we have three intervals of sand, sand 1, sand 2, and sand 3. Another cutoff can be applied is porosity permeability cutoff. When cutoff is applied, a net reservoir will be produced. The net reservoir refers to intervals of net sand with good porosity and permeability, as not all the intervals of net sand could be of good quality and having good porosity and permeability, such as the presence of intervals of sand, the brown color intervals, could have a damaged petrophysical system, so they have poor porosity and permeability. So now, instead of having a 3 net sand intervals, we have 6 net reservoir intervals with good porosity and permeability from R1 to R6. Another cutoff can be applied on fluid saturation, specifically water saturation. The product from the cutoff will be net pay intervals, which comprises reservoir intervals containing significant hydrocarbon content. So we may have a net reservoir intervals with good porosity and permeability, but not necessarily all the intervals of net reservoir would have a hydrocarbon storage or have a good storage capacity or transmissibility or flow capacity, because sometimes there are net reservoir intervals but saturated with fluids other than oil like water, such as the intervals close or below the fluids contact, like free water level, like water below free water level, or the incursion of perched water in some intervals of net reservoir. So now we have 5 net reservoir with good storage or flow capacity from P1 to P5. However, it's worth mentioning that water saturation cutoff can be measured downhole from well logs as well as from the lab. Even the cutoff of porosity can be measured in the lab and also from the log, while permeability cutoff can be measured only from the lab. And remember that the cutoff values of the reservoir properties measured from the lab is more accurate. However, cutoff values are not always piece of cake to determine. There are always challenges to determine effective and representative cutoff value and produce net pays to be used for hydrocarbon volume calculation and preserve reservoir connectivity. You should know that reservoir heterogeneity is always the challenge for cutoff value determination. So I hope that you found this video interesting as much as good knowledge. Please pay attention that I have two more videos regarding same subject of cutoff and net pay parameters. One is about the application of cutoff, and the second is a tutorial video on workflow design for multiple cutoff scenario using Petrel workflow. You can find links to these two videos in the description box below. So thank you for your time, and until your geoscience ship anchors at next harbor, you keep on learning. Geoscience skills. Thank you for keeping learning.